Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. Once we start this program, you have the power to dictate what we speak about. Pick up your telephone, give us a call or on WhatsApp. And the number to call is 442-0175. We never have a subject matter. We speak about issues trending, and you can introduce your own topic. You don't have to agree with us. We encourage people to stick as much as possible to the truth. You could express your opinion, because opinions are not facts. They are your opinion. We express our opinion on any issue. Yes, caller, welcome. But we lost that caller. Yes, caller, welcome. Okay. We express our opinion, and if you bring new information and we believe it is authentic, we change in our opinion. We have a democratic process in our country that is good, and we have to use it. And we have to encourage people to be tolerant to dissenting views. You may not agree with me, but that doesn't mean you have to have issues with me. Sometimes your position is shrinking after some people take pot shot at your position. You're able to reform it and have a different opinion. Where the politics is concerned, we are very polarized. And we seem to get very touchy. When somebody says something, look at what they say rather than who says it. Because we tend to attack the person rather than the message of what they say. People could support political parties and still criticize the political party. People could support religious organization and still criticize the religious organization that they support. They may not support everything the party do. So we have to be tolerant. Today, a few days ago, Grenada won a gold medal in the Chelsea Flowers Show. By now, some people say, well, that is not new. I think they have won medals about 17 times in the Chelsea Flower Show. Now, I think that is extremely significant. And I don't think our country, Grenada, has taken it as serious as it is. If we are able to go to an international show and win medals on 17 occasions, it means that we have something good. We have something people respect. And we should see how we could make an economy out of it. The flowers market in the world is in billions of dollars. Maybe over $50 billion. Now, what's wrong with us in Caribbean? Not only in Grenada, in the whole Caribbean. What's wrong with our agricultural mines in the Caribbean? You have an industry that is over $50 million. And we seem $50 billion in the world. But the Caribbean is not even mentioned in this industry. Of the 10 biggest exporters in the world, you have Netherlands, Colombia, Ecuador, Kenya, Korea, Belgium, Ethiopia, Malaysia, Italy, Germany, and Israel. Israel is a small country. Rock. The Israelis say they have the worst land in the Middle East. Rock. In the 70s, when we brought down Israelis here to look at our soil, some of them among their colleagues and other Grenadians, they say we work with rock. If you wish hard in Grenada, it will grow. But the Israelis is able to take out a big piece of the pie in the flower market. They come in the first 10 of exporters in the world. What's wrong with us? Is in these occasions I ask, where is the University of the West Indies? What happened to our agricultural schools? Yes, we are exporters of nutmeg and cocoa. And today, in recent times, we export fish and saucer. Almost in every instance, we cannot supply the market that we have. But you could have a diversified market. The flowers industry is a growing industry. And it's focused on the production, distribution, and sale of flowers for human enjoyment. Almost everybody likes flowers. Those who don't like flowers wouldn't say they don't like it. I've never heard somebody say in my life that they don't like flowers. I guess you must have people who don't like it. We use flowers in almost every aspect of our life. We import artificial flowers. I guess the hotels must be importing cut flowers because people want flowers for human enjoyment. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good day, sir.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
To the listeners. I listen for somebody to open back, but I don't feel others like that position.
Well, some people like to come down one. Some people don't like to face the new ball.
I don't afraid it. I could remember, Mr. Pierre, as some of the NDC activists feel you're attacking the government, but I am not seeing it because I realize you will be showing the government where they're going wrong. Also, Master Callers be doing the same thing. You all are pointing out alternative in most cases. In 1986, when I was in Trinidad, I met with the opposition leader there, that's Basio Pandey. And you know what he said? He said, I glad Ian Robinson making mistakes in governance. He said, glad, he said, that might give him a good chance of coming back. So he didn't want no media to point out. He said, let them go down the drain. But in your program, it's not like that. You might be speaking about how the agriculture should be. You're speaking about other areas. So we in Grenada here is very different. But those who eat enough food, they don't care. They call it eat a food. They don't care about that. I believe this is one of the most selfish administration in this country. And they're training the supporters also to be selfish. They're more concerned about they themselves and they don't care about others. Job for the boys. They don't care about the young people. They don't care about the elderly. Where are we going? I just sit down and consider that. I don't know if you ever meet a selfish government like this. This is one of the most selfish governments. They think of only helping their personal, for their personal use. And a lot of us seen it and we're hiding it or we're afraid to talk. As the Californians say, Grenadians balling with their mouth closed. A lot of them seen it because I don't listen, I don't heard them speak. I want callers to come out and say what they know. Free Grenada. That's how it should be. I don't know if you agree with me. I don't know if you agree with my statement. That's how I see it.
Yeah, well,
Because I can remember under
the government is not an inclusive government. They don't seek the interests of everybody. And when you just have to play devil's advocate, when you're speaking to a hardline NDC, within 5 minutes he's telling you you're stupid or you're dumb. Even on Facebook, the slightest comment they hear from you, they call you dumb and stupid. Just responding to a sister, and she thought I was stupid and a comedian. And I told her, yes, I'm a political comedian with dry humor. They are very disrespectful when they refer to people who they believe is beneath them. That is why it's so easy for the members of the government to use such derogative and demeaning terminology to describe those people who they believe. Do not support them. Classless people. In 2024, 50 years after independence, a Grenadian leader considers some Grenadians as classless. I mean, in the 70s, when the old GNP considered Grenadians who supported Eric Gary, the estate children they used to call people like us then, estate children, cadavers, and stinking Gayites. At that time, you wonder how they could use these words. But in 2024, individuals that might have a briefcase or certificate, they're not in any better position than you in every sense of the word. Not in certificate, not in material things, and not in good look. But they believe they're in a better class than you. And that is the National Democratic Congress. Not an inclusive government. A very fractious team that is divisive. And the language and utterance is objectionable. So yes, scholar, I agree with you completely. They believe they're wiser and smarter. I think they're dumb twice. And the time has come for people to take them on at all levels. Whether it is on social media, whether it is in Facebook, whether it is in the rum shop. These things have to stop. That is why I don't believe in reparation. The black man sold us in slavery. And the black man was selling slaves, selling their people in slavery for 700 years before the white man go and buy. So I have no ill feelings for the white man. If you get money from him, take. If manna fall from the sky, take. But I wouldn't even, it is beneath me to ask the white man for money for reparation. Because the black man sold us. The black man sold us in slavery. And today we calling our own black brother classless. Difficult It's very difficult for me to stomach that. Very difficult. In the 70s, they accused Eric Gary for secret police and for beating them up. And during the time, I well support them to beat them up. If they call you classless, during this period, when they refer to Grenadians at the estate children as stinking gay rights and secret police bust their head, I always say they should get moved. So I had not a tear to shed for them. And that is why I speak about that, because I hope these people change fast. Change fast. Take this language, must not be part of your repertoire. Don't get this language part of your vocabulary. Take it out. It's unacceptable to consider your brother that you're not in a better position on that anyway, except you feel that you're in a better class, to call them classless or to refer to them as classless. And that's the challenge we have in Grenada. That's why I speak about the schoolhouse. 70% of the children that exit school cannot meet the minimum requirement. I take the strongest objection to that. While it is not done maliciously, I think it's a wicked act. That could change overnight. Within 5 to 10 years, if we change our mentality, we could change that in school. More than 50% of the children that come from school in the next 5 to 10 years must be better educated. And parents must not accept any teacher in Grenada that refuse to put a name on a certifying that to call your child they're not academically inclined. They use a big word, big phrase, not you're academically inclined. They feel these expressions are more palatable. Don't let nobody tell your child that. What they're saying is your child don't. The word they're using is more palatable when you put it on paper. Your child is not academically inclined, so send them in technical school. A lot of our mechanics today have to leave the mechanic world. Some have to sell roti, some have to go and drive truck because they are not computer smart. They can't read technology. They don't know mathematics. They don't understand physics. So if you want to be a mechanic today, you should study maths. You should study physics. You should be computer-wise, savvy, literate. And you should even learn a foreign language. You see, our people are getting tricked. And we are being tricked by our own people. Not the white man. Not the yellow man. Not the red man. Not the American. And not the religious man. We are being tricked by our own brothers and sisters. That is why Tilita daughter, 10 children Tilita make. Only the last one that was able to have a tertiary education, she have 2 master's degree. But she don't consider the mother because she believes her mother is beneath her. Mother drinking rum. Mother thief, blogger. The mother go in jail. She wouldn't thank the mother for not aborting her. A lot of women abort their children They have one, they have half. Some of them do have. She later make 10. Yes, she went to prison. Yes, she drank rum. But she made 10 children. She sent all them to church. And the last one, she was able to go to secondary school and go to college and have 2 master's degrees. And she could only see the mother beneath her. We have a lot of children like that. Some of the children, as soon as they go to secondary school, they don't want the parents coming graduation. We have been fighting this thing for 50 years. And now we have a breed of vultures that come and reintroduce this malady. Bob Marley sing, "Free us from mental slavery." It was the words of Marcus Garvey. And 50 years after independence, our own group of people believe they're wiser and smarter than the rest. They believe we're beneath them. And that's why I worry, because it seems that they sell our independence. When you give up, when you sell, when you're no longer the one that making decision or dictating our foreign policy, and you were celebrating independence for 1 year. And one among the smart Grenadians, psychologists and sociologists and historians has lost their tongue. While we have a group of vultures involve a third party in dictating our foreign policy. How that could be? We have to understand this massive policy shift in our direction. A massive policy shift. And you have to listen to the utterances, the unwritten expressions of those who lead us. If this government gets a chance, and if slavery was still easy to practice, they are selling all those who they believe beneath them. They are taking their money on them. So yes, scholar, I agree with you. And we must not stop talk. There are some individuals that believe, why you speaking now? I think this is one of the most dangerous times in the last 50 years. You see, 50 years ago, there were hope. There were dreams. Eric Gary used to say, the difficult things we do now, the impossible things, we do it tomorrow. When he came up with ideas and they say, Uncle Gary, that can work. He said the difficult things we do now, the impossible things we do tomorrow. And he was leading a group of people that did not have secondary school education. The majority of the people that Gary was leading did not have a good primary school education. As part of his policy, in 13 and a half years, 28 schools was built. 28 schools. Pre-primary school. Technical education with the assistance and cooperation of Canada. He never forgetted daycare centers and community centers. Dunfermline Daycare Center was one of them. He never forgetted the home for the aged. He was concerned about the elderly people. And Gary embraced St. George's University. Dr. Mordecai, I hope I have the name right. He wanted to open a university, a medical university, somewhere in an independent country in the Caribbean. And he communicated with other countries in the Caribbean, the bigger countries. They did not respond to him. He said he was reading an article and he saw this little country become independent. And he sent a telegram to Eric Gary. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. We lost that caller?
Yes, Mr. Pierre, good
afternoon. Go right
afternoon.
ahead, Chief.
Good afternoon.
Yes, my brother.
Yesterday I listened to a program that was done by another radio station interviewing the present Minister for Tourism, etc., who used to be the Minister for Agriculture in recent times. That's Mr. Postulator Thomas, who is my very good friend. Very good friend for a lot of years. I live in St. David for a long time, and we had an organization going on. He was the vice president, I was the PRO. So I'm talking about somebody I've been close to all years. My good friend. Yesterday, there he was, excited, talking about the good that the hotel called Six Sense is doing for the St. David people in present time. A project that he led demonstration against the establishment of when the idea was brought up during Dr. Kit Mitchell period. He led the protest against establishing that hotel in the area there. Now he's praising the fact that the hotel is established and the benefit it is bringing for St. David people. How hypocrite people could be is amazing. And in that given situation, the vision that Dr. Kit Mitchell had and his government in general, his ministers, is paying off. So how comes all of a sudden it will be the best project that could have come to St. David? And there are others in the making that they have actually protest against. There's another hotel being built that they are all protest against. But now they are praising the fact that it is there. And that is something that don't get with people, especially politicians. If something is, you see, what we are losing here now is what they call objectivity. People are not prepared to look at things objectively. They have the narrow-minded biasness. If it is Kit Mitchell idea, if it is the NNP idea, everything is wrong about it. If it is another person's idea that they support, everything is right about it. And that kind of blindness is leading Grenada to nowhere. And right now, these are the people who are in power in this country. I've been looking at them for the longest while. Anything that was initiated by Kit Mitchell, it is wrong. The very thing that they're coming to do now, for example, the CBI program. That's the best thing after sliced bread in this world, as people might say it. Because that's the program that this government is depending on more than to bring in revenue to the Treasury. Plus the benefits that are coming for the individuals involved, like the Prime Minister himself, the Minister for Finance themselves, being agents of it. Look at the situation where Nazim Bok, I remember the time when Nazim Bok made the statement that if they get into power, they will scrap that program. Now you're hearing that Nazim Bok is an agent for the program. How do you explain this type of thing or this type of people too? Well, you explain it by saying hypocrite. But how do you explain this type of people? What kind of mentality they have? What kind of attitude is that in life? At what time something is wrong? What is actually their belief? That's people you cannot trust. That's people you shouldn't believe in. Because that's one thing about me and Mr. Pierre. I grew up with objectivity. I'm telling you that. I'm a person you don't hear. Even though like you hear me say 1,000,001 times that I've been an opponent of Gary, like Eric Matthew Gary, because I was a New Jewel Movement member. Not just a member, a leading member of the party. The executive of the party. National executive. But you never used to hear me saying bad things against Gary. This propaganda attitude that people used to have, everything Gary do is wrong. I never had that attitude. Never. And that's the kind of a thing that you don't see in certain people in this country who are now in power. Take care, sir. Thank you.
Yes, scholar, and some of them cannot stand the best bone in us. Because now we have the ability to speak, and we have the medium to speak, and we fear no one. In the 70s, we feared no one too. But we didn't have the medium. We didn't have the via. And we was not confident with our words. And that is why some of them get the head boss. When they was very insulting to people, people retaliated by beating them up. It's the same group of people that sold us in slavery. The same group of leaders that sold the weaker ones in slavery. It is the same group that asking for reparation now. They're not taking blame. It's the same group of individuals. But let me go back to Dr. Mordecai. Because we must know that. Too much of our ordinary people don't know the historicity. Dr. Mordecai said he was reading an article and he heard about a little country that got independence a few days ago. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon to you.
Yes, good afternoon.
Mr. Pierre, it really concerns me and it really bothers me to know. I want to know what his government is doing for the young people who exit school last year. I want to know what they're doing for them. I saw one young lady and she said to me, I said, what are you doing here? Why aren't you in school to further your education? What are you doing? I said, why don't you ask your minister to give you a scholarship so you could go abroad? She told me not one in a classroom, I don't know for now, but not one in a classroom received a scholarship. And she said, the previous government, she gave every child who done well in the exam a scholarship to go abroad to further their education. Now I remember in time past, Dr. Keith Mitchell tell his ministers, whenever they go abroad, whenever they go away on government business, they must come back with something in their pocket for Grenadian people. They don't care. He said he doesn't care if they come with one scholarship for a child. They must come back with one in their pocket to give the children. The children in Carriacou, they pass and they're just sitting at home. Why? Why can't they help them? What are they doing? These are the future generation for Grenadian people. In the next few years, what will happen to them? You cannot have bright young people just sitting at home. Bright young people just walking the street. What is the government doing for them? If it's my child at that time, I'll be furious. I will go up to the ministry and I'll be complaining. Do something to help the Grenadian young people who pass exam. One of them told me they get one, but they send them all the way to India. And it's nothing what they want. They just like they can't get nothing. I don't know if they cannot speak or express themselves when they're going abroad to attract people to receive a scholarship or how much scholarship to bring back to the Grenadian children to help them. Mr. Pierre, they're looking at themselves. They look down at Keith Mitchell, but Dr. Keith Mitchell was a boss. Dr. Keith Mitchell have Grenadian people at heart. He have the future generation of the children at heart because that is his people. He fights for them. But this government, I don't know what they do, what they're doing for the Grenadian children, for the young people of Grenada. What are they doing? They're just taking money and fill up their pocket. Help the young people so we could have a better tomorrow, So we could say it's not what the country could do for you, it's what you could do for the country. So they can't say that. So give them something to talk about. Let them boast about the country. Mr. Pierre, have a nice day. Have a good day.
Yes, Colin, this is a gala people. When they go away, the emphasis is not on development. The policy is not inclusive. They don't have a history of seeking the interests of the smaller man. The school system caters for about 15 or 20% Grenadians. That is what they cater for. The government don't have no problem with 70% of the children failing in school. And now the government and the teachers is in cozy relationship. So don't expect increase in productivity. Yes, caller, welcome.
Pierre, good afternoon on target.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah, 1 year was we make about the speech, and people doesn't want to talk, and people only know we can talk. But Mr. Pierre, for this night, and even further, there were people in position to load this voice the country led by the for some reason the shoes is on their feet. They want racism, they talk, you're patriotic, you're on Grenada leg, honestly Grenada to the knees. How you explain to me now that you have a former NDC leader who is now a CBI agent amongst those who are that are CBI agents still, NDC that is still CBI agents, you have people on board that is still with the NDC. And bad man is
a vulture.
You people on radio every day saying about WASH program and JUMP program and all these programs. So you telling me the NMP never had a back to and solid program? You telling me the NMP never program? You telling me
you're breaking up.
People have.
I don't know what you're doing, but you're breaking up.
It is crazy. Yeah, I'm kind of moving.
You're moving.
Yeah. Need to get.
You're breaking up.
Bad.
Sorry, caller. You're making a good point, but you're breaking up. You see, we have to understand, and the quicker the people in the lower income group understand that this government policy is not for them. This is why I place no emphasis on the politician mistakes. I put emphasis on the policy. A politician could make a mistake that affect one or two people. But the policy of this government is not inclusive. They may try to adopt one or two programs, now as people speaking. But the policies of the government is not good. That is why it is always easier for the unions to work with the NDC government, because they're not under pressure to be more productive. Now, 70% of our children cannot meet the minimum requirement when they exit school. And you have a government that is not inclusive. You have a government that is hostile towards people in the lower income group. A lot of the NDCs are saying they're lazy. You give them handout. You want to keep them so. This is the language that comes from a lot of individuals who are members of the NDC. And no, I just hunt them down for discussion. So it means you get trapped. You didn't read the basic education in school, and this government stifles your second chance. And even when you become creative and challenge the system, You put boots by the road to sell. The government intend to mash it down. And the psychology the government use tell you they want to keep you so there is handout you get in. Why they are doing that? Then go back and ask why they sell us in slavery. Try to find out why Tilita data turn against them. And all of you all know people like that. You know children in your community that don't meddle with the parents because the parents might be poor and they feel the parents don't have the class that they want. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, good evening again.
Yeah.
Let me point out something that is amazing. Something somebody told me yesterday evening. Victimization. And let me go back a little bit to your program yesterday when a man called and talking about the people. Because they were, it's the most illogical logics I've ever heard. The people who are employed in the what do you call the program? The program that
Faith program.
that is controversial.
Faith program.
Huh?
Faith program.
Yeah, the faith program. Yeah, right. They were considered to be NNP supporters. Well, fine. But he brings no evidence that people who apply for the program or try to get jobs in the program because they are NDC, they won't employ. He brought no evidence to show that kind of thing. But he's saying that the fact that the people, 100% of them being NNP supporters, and the was during the NNP reign, in my case, that is victimization. Like I said, the most illogical logics I ever heard. But yesterday evening, a good friend of mine come talking to me about an issue. And this is what he pointed out. That there's a guy who is a writer of calypsos and so on, who wrote a calypso. Right now it happened, wrote a calypso for somebody. And it is against the government, or so they perceive it. It is critical of the government. And they technically get fired because they refuse to renew his contract. So let me point out to that guy and whoever is listening something about Scholar. Scholar is now a prominent secretary in the ministry, in one of the ministries. For all the years, Scholar has been the biggest critic as a Calypsonian in this country of Dr. Kit Mitchell and the NNP. He became a prominent secretary during Kit Mitchell's reign. He's still a prominent secretary. Have been the most critical person in this country. Dr. Mitchell has ever victimized him. Here you have a situation, a simple situation. The guy expressing himself in Calypso, that's a normal thing with Calypsonians. He got fired. Yesterday, I was told his story yesterday evening. And it has nothing to do with hearing that program yesterday and so on. The guy happened to know me and I discussed issues with people. And he talked to me about it. That's the kind of thing that is going on in this country continuously.
Beast, persuader.
Yeah. But you have people saying things like getting rid of people who are NNP supporters nowadays. That never used to be the case during
It never happened in the history of Grenada except in the revolution for counters.
You never used to hear people talking about get rid of Scholar. Scholar was even promoted continuously. Evidence to those who are trying to turn and twist the story or the narrative.
Yeah.
Take care, Mr. Pierre.
Yes. So it's difficult to... I have said over the years, the NDC have been very good at the propaganda. And they have done a very good job and they have managed to woo and silence a lot of the NNP spokespeople, the NNP politicos. And somehow or the other, they believe they still have the ability to silence people who speak, not recognizing there are some people who are speaking now who have never flaunted any political party. They never flaunted any political party. That doesn't mean they're neutral. And we must stick with the truth. And once you could take on people with the truth, because you don't have to remember, I think I said that yesterday, you don't have to remember what you said yesterday. The policy of this government is fractious. It is demeaning. It is looking for political vengeance. The government members either stupid or they dumb, or they don't know our history. When a government initiates a policy like that, they open a Pandora box. They open the genie box because of the rippling effect on the ground. That is why some members of the NDC said, let them starve. Maybe senior members wouldn't use that word. But when you start to talk about classless and needy and greedy and beggy, your ordinary members on the ground become very practical and agricultural in their expression. So they say, let a pound stone in the river. What you think is going to happen on the ground? It is not in our interest. Some people say, I did not hear your voice. I'm on the radio for maybe about 7 or 8 years now. I'm on the radio doing daily programs. Maybe some people are attracted to what I say now because I consider members of the National Democratic Congress, the 9 members, as vultures. And I have nothing but contempt for people like that. Yes, caller, welcome.
After Mr. Pierre?
Yes, caller, welcome.
How are you?
Great, man.
Yeah. Mr. Pierre, I don't know, but I'm watching a situation developing in the which it wouldn't really, eventually, it wouldn't solve none of us well. None of us, whether it's NNP, whether it's NP, whether it's one. Right? Because I listen to that program and quite long as well. And it's like, one just keep on lambasting the other one, and to me, it's getting worse. Right? Because as I just said there that, certain things didn't used to happen, in the past, and it's happening. Right? And I don't think that is going to solve the country well, and it's not going to serve us well neither. I mean, whether side we on or which side we not on. Just now, if you look careful, when you go, you there?
Yeah, listen to you.
So when if you don't careful when you go in hospital, just now maybe they will tell you, oh, you're not that this, you're not that. So you can't get service. Yes, it's going to happen if we don't careful. Trust me. And and this thing is it is getting worse. So please, if you could get the opposition and the government to do something to encourage it, both of them sit down and put issues on the table and try to iron out differences. I mean, because if you don't go down that road, Mr. Pierre, is more and more separation and division and chaos and confusion and hatred and something. I mean, whether we want to admit it, whether we agree, this is what is going to happen. So I'm appealing to to those who involved. Try please, and try to don't spare that. Don't spread that hatred and that malice and envy and jealousy, because at the end of the day, it wouldn't solve none of us well. Thank you.
Yes, Scholar, and you're correct, Scholar. Scholar, I support you 100%. And I believe the government should get rid of restorative justice or explain to the public what they understand by that to me. The government needs to explain to the public what they mean by restorative justice. Because remember, during the political campaign, the government said it was transformation. Transformation means serious change, dramatic change, but serious change. Because sometimes the politician excite things. But the Prime Minister said, we campaign on a policy of transformation. But it is not so much transformation, it is restorative justice. Yes, Scholar, welcome.
Oh, yes, good afternoon.
Yes,
Pierre.
welcome.
You're very, very hard to find. But I said a chop and a chop, I hold you today. Now, are you listening to me?
Yes, Scholar, go right ahead.
Right. Now, something that is bothering me that I heard recently, I don't know if you picked it up, but it has to do with a statement I heard from the Prime Minister as it is the government position. Land. The zoning of lands, and St. David's was singled out in my hearing. St. David's, the zoning of lands, and to go with that, they call the capping of the sale of land, the regulation of the sale of land. And that to me have me very, very worried, because land today in Grenada is gold to commerce. And taking into consideration what is happening with respect to the economy, the crime, and the young people associated to employment, I think if you go zoning land, not zoning land, but regulating the price of land, to put a cap on the price of land, that will turn commerce on its head. I don't know how that will be possible, because transfer to government in sale of lands is 5% and 15% respectively. And so that will be a dent in the government's revenue. But at this point in time, to attempt to be capping or regulating the sale of land when we have so much foreign people coming in here who have the right to purchase land and to own lands, I don't see how that will be possible. I see a serious danger down the road for Grenadians. I don't know what is your take on that, but to me, I believe the government should, if that is a thinking, that should be shelved immediately, but that to me spells trouble. It spells disaster. Have a great evening.
Yes, Scholar, thank you. I think the government just thinking out aloud. I don't think the government really know what they're doing. They don't have a plan. They're just thinking out aloud. We have just opened the door in Grenada for all CARICOM citizens. So that if you are anywhere in the CARICOM, you could come to Grenada indefinitely. That is what I understand by it. Grenada is a beautiful little country. Why do I say that? 90% of our people have access to electricity, telephone, water, and internet. Our schools in Grenada have a 15 to 20, the ratio between teachers and children is about 50 to 20%. Over 40,000 landowners, they have freehold. They could do what they want with the land. So it is much easier for a foreigner, or we have to stop saying foreigner, somebody from CARICOM to get a piece of land in Grenada than a Grenadian getting in Barbados. Yes, Scholar, welcome.
Afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, Scholar.
Mr. Pierre, the next month will be 2 years since this NC party in governance. And to pay a searching to find out what project that this NDC administration implement from the time they come into governance. Because in the election campaign, they were saying nothing going on.
But did they promise any project in the election campaign? They did not.
They never promised.
They were very colorful, but they didn't promise projects.
Yeah, so my point is that if nothing was going to go, if NMP, there's nothing going on in NMP, right? In the campaign, right? And no new project, they don't do any new project. So that means what they were saying to the people, that it was not the truth, because all the projects that they continue to do was project that was implemented under the previous NP government, right? So that's why they continue to. Yes, it's good to continue the project, but then you see when people lie and they continue to lie, you say your life will cut up with you, right? Because they lied for the people of Greater Caribbean and said nothing was going on, and no new project, but they still continue to.
Caller, you remember some of the lies the NDC said in 2008? Give me three of them.
Okay. They will make the Imani worker will get $1,000, and none will be going home. The $400 for the seed workers, because for the seed people, we got to remember he had a man did wrong very good. He was one that go on campaign for them and said vote for NDC. The NDC will give them $400. And what happened when the NDC came in governance in 2008? That man died and he did not get $400.
The NDC does sit down and plan lies.
They sit down and plan lies.
They didn't offer project. They challenged the government immensely. They spent a lot of time running down the government. They said nothing was not achieved since 1983. Or let me add significant, because my partner like that one.
And then, I think people knew that NMP was doing a lot.
Yes,
but then even some of them are working in the government.
You might be doing a lot, but it's politics that win election.
Yes, politics.
And the NNP did not do good politics.
Yeah, I think if somebody blame because NNP had enough ammunition to campaign.
They didn't handle the politics well.
The lies and forgotten about. We saw them stay quiet. So then a lot of people believe their lies.
Yeah.
But then now it's a different era. We had to inform the people of Peter Martinique. Let them know the truth. People
have to understand that when a government comes, the policy is very important. That is what the businessman look for.
Yeah.
And let's face it, the businessman don't have no problem with NDC. We come, caller, we come at the end of our program.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Yes, and this is the last program for the week. We're back with you on Monday. We started with the question of flowers because we believe that the flowers industry in the whole Caribbean should seriously try to get a bit of the flower market. It's over $50 billion. And none of us in the Caribbean, no country in the Caribbean is benefiting from that flowers market. But Grenada should perhaps take the lead. And the University of the West Indies, all the bright, start to think, start to make sense. All they walking around with a briefcase of certificate and a bag of problem. Thank you very much. Remember the program on Friday with Master Carl. Anyway, so thank you.